My name is Ellie, welcome to my channel, and I was playing with the makeup after getting home from work, and something happened in that I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I decided to pick something up that I had and hadn't used in a couple weeks, and I ended up using all of the shades on my face. And I know I just did this in bite-sized reviews, but I thought you might want to see what they look like on my face. The shimmers are metallic and aggressive. I have a little bit of mascara, but it's the end of the day. You're lucky that we have any light at all. I have a supplement lamp happening right off camera. And yeah, I thought that it was a good time to talk about tips and tricks for utilizing these, since I had mentioned, I believe, in my bite-sized review that it took some finesse. Just like a little bit. So, let's talk about what we have. I have Cozy Fire in the crease here, blended out with Milk and Cookies, stocking stuffers all over, and pajamas on the inner corner. And on this side, I have Under the Tree all in the crease, blended out with Chimney, with Gifts Galore all over the lid, and Santa's Sleigh on the inner corner, which you can see that is a very reflective. This gold, I don't mind it in the inner corner, but I honestly prefer it on the inner third. Like, I blended it a little bit over the red. I had some trouble the first couple times I used this palette, because this is not a beginner-friendly palette. It's a lot. These, ooh, just scratched my face. We're fine. The mattes are very, very pigmented, so I had the best luck picking it up with very fluffy but small brushes. So these are the two brushes I use. This is what I use to apply the red, and then this one I use to kind of buff it out and then blend out the edges with Milk and Cookies. I used a similar system for the green in that I picked up small blending brush, a little bit more give than some other blending brushes, and a big fluffy one to kind of fuzz out the edges. I think it could have been a little bit softer on the green since it is darker than the red, and I did it second, and I am a little just kind of aggressive on that side, but it worked really well. I think you need to pick up a little product and apply and then keep going back and forth to get the right application, because I've had things where I put a ton of one color on and then it wouldn't blend, or I picked up too much and didn't knock it off my brush and the fallout went all over my face. I think you do a lot better on your looks with this product when you build slowly, especially in the mattes. Knock off your brush, be very careful about fallout, because it is very pigmented and very powdery, which is great for payoff. It is not so great if you are a clumsy person with no restraint. That's me. I am used to some less pigmented shadows that I can, put a ton on my brush and do this, and it kind of most of it flies away, doesn't fall down, and I am paying the price when I try to use certain gorgeously pigmented indie shadows, so we will work on that. We have a plan. The biggest issue I had with these shadows was the shimmers. They're gorgeous. They're fantastic. They're stunning. But they're very wet. And it kind of took me a second to figure out the best way that I like to apply them. Because I normally pick them up with, I was trying brushes like this, small, well, that's not small, medium packing brushes. This is just some ColourPop something. It's worn off. But normally you can kind of pick this up and then you have a good job placing it and spreading pretty well, because they are very shimmery, very, very wet, very slick. They spread really well. They, kind of layer into this really, really smooth, wet look, which is gorgeous. Except, since they are so slippery and wet, when you're doing something like this, which doesn't have a lot of, most of my packing shadows don't have a ton of texture on the brush. They kind of swipe it up and then lay it down very smoothly, because there's not layering bristles there messing with stuff. That means that it picks up an amount of product, less than I would want on my eye, and then kind of seals the brush and stops picking anything else up out of the pan. So that frustrated me because you'd have to keep dipping and dipping and dipping, which I know I just said to do that with the mattes, but I don't want to do that with shimmers because I'm impatient and I'm a monster. Hence again why I'm the restraintless, aggressive lady who makes all sorts of makeup mistakes. Today, because I had been using my finger, which if you like putting shimmer shadows on with your finger, you're going to do fine. You're going to love this because it makes a gorgeous look when you just kind of swipe it, pat it out. It's fantastic. I have not had any issues with this creasing on me, which is something that would worry me about shadows this emollient, but no issues on this specific formula. But I have small eyes and big fingers, and I don't like it. I don't like putting shadows on with my finger if I can avoid it. I have to do it on certain formulas to make it work. I just don't like it. I don't like doing it. So I kept trying things and had a breakthrough. This is a brush that I would not have inherently used for this matte formula for my crease, but I wanted to know if the texture of this brush would more easily pick up the shimmers, and so it did. So you just kind of like, let me show you. So you take a brush that you would not normally use for packing, you kind of go back and forth, and then you have a ton of product on your brush, and you can just shoom, 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 and kind of buff it into the lid, and then you get that nice smooth sheen. You get enough product for your eye, and you can go back in and get anything you need to make it a nice opaque color. For the other lid, I used another similar, like, fluffier brush, which is not what I would have thought I wanted for these shadows, but it works. So now that I know that, I'm most likely going to use this a lot more because I really like these shades, and while I wouldn't wear them this aggressive every day, they're nice. They're colors I could wear to the office in a different look. Not that my boss would care, because my boss's boss has purple hair, and I'm allowed to wear my nose ring out at work. Like, I don't think this would be an issue since I am in a billing office, not really interacting with patients, especially because offices are closing for coronavirus. Not the billing department, though. We're still working. 6 feet apart, and with lots of hand sanitizer, but we are still working. I think, like, both of these are good. I would probably kind of cinch down the crease, so it's more of like a pop of red in the crease as opposed to a full red crease, or maybe like just like an outer third to half of green, not quite blended so far out. They'd be really nice looks to wear to the office, and since they are so pigmented, you don't need as much building. Like, yeah, go back and forth slowly so you don't apply too much, but it's still a pretty quick look, and especially with how gorgeous and reflective that shadow is. And honestly, that one too. You can't see it as well against the red, but the red is very pretty. And I've already gotten shadows. These shadows complemented. Sorry, I'm going very fast. I'm trying to make these shorter for you because the last couple have been very long. And I know I ramble, and I know it's not your favorite. And I'm working on it, but I'm also not very good at it. So, I have gotten some very nice compliments on these shadows when I've managed to make them work and worn them to work. I just didn't want to put the effort in and didn't want to touch my face and then forget about that and then do something later and have like a whole smear of eyeshadow from using my fingers to apply them. Now that I have tips and tricks, I'm gonna wear these more. While also trying to get to my panning stuff. But I have a lot more options. And I'm happier now that I know the way I like to use these shadows because they're gorgeous, and all the things that I was like, oh man, they're very pigmented. Oh man, they're very shimmery, they're very wet, are like too much of a good thing problems. And I really want to be able to explore indie brands more. And Give Me Glow is one of the ones I really, really like. I love their aesthetic. I love the color stories they're putting together. I just want to try more of it. And since this was like my first attempt, I was a little discouraged when I had those application issues. But now that I know how I like to use them, I can potentially just find more of them. And they have some lovely stuff, like the olive palette. I really want a couple highlighters. We're working on it. We're working on using what I have. and making spaces for products, I did get rid of some palettes because it's become a game where somebody comes over to my house and they wear any amount of makeup and I'm sending them home with some makeup because I have a lot of it. And I'm much better at giving it away if I know it's going to someone who I am friends with. I know they love makeup. I know they're going to really enjoy that product. It kind of cuts past all of my, oh, well, what if I want it in 2 weeks? What if I miss it? What if I, give it away and forget that that's the only whatever color I have? Like, I won't just buy more makeup. But it allows me to give stuff away with a lot less regret and anxiety if I know it's going to somebody that I know will love it and enjoy it or have a lot of fun with it. So, I did get rid of some palettes. I'm working on it. I really like this. Hopefully if you had similar issues and you don't like using your fingers for product, or you were having issues with the blendiness, there was some fallout with using the shimmers on a fluffier brush, but it swept away without any major issue as far as I can tell. And I do my base first, so you would see it. You would very much see red or green streaks if I had not been able to sweep it away with my powder brush. So, success. I now am very excited. Thank you for listening to my rambling, and I got it under 20 minutes. I got it under 15. I'm really proud of myself right now. I will see you guys next time. Make sure you're staying safe. If you can quarantine and you're not required to go to work, quarantine. If your office offers a work from home option, which I've been asking them for, but they're not doing right now, they're not approving, do what you can. Stay safe. Wash your fucking hands. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.